Hi, I'm Randy McLean, President of WayPoint Analytics. This is Bruce Merrifield, Vice President of WayPoint Analytics and industry expert. And I wanted to spend a little bit of time with you today sharing some of the discussions we've been having here in the office about various issues and opportunities in wholesale distribution management and best practices. So Bruce, the topic of this video, or the purpose of this video, is to talk about optimizing inventory. And in the same way that we optimize personnel and our other resources towards our most profitable accounts or the best profit opportunities, why is it important to do that also with inventory?
Well, you know, it's a lot of times to come up with great wisdom, you got to sort of figure out how to ask the right question the right way. I mean, everybody understands that we have inventory to provide service to the customer.
Of course.
And the way we measure that typically is fill rates. And,
yes.
And people say, well, in a financial measurement system world, I got inventory, I got to borrow money from the bank to finance it. I read these things about annual cost of possession, and we know we have obsolescence. So we're all into carrying costs of inventory.
Of course.
And some guy, back whenever, came up with a one-dimensional answer in a 10-dimensional world. He said, here is this little chart showing the diminishing returns of fill rates. So when you add more inventory dollars, your fill rate goes up. But it starts to bend, and when you get to 92% fill rates, now you've got to double your inventory investment to get to 95, and you got to quadruple it to get to 98 or something like that. And this little curve went around the world. Everybody's like, okay, I'm chief financial officer around here, or I'm big financial guy.
I'm a numbers guy. I can see the flaw in that.
If we're going to get a good return on investment, we can't have too much investment. So 92% fill rates. Well, to add more dimensions to that, it turns out that we find out in WayPoint that not all SKUs are equal. Certainly some are a lot more popular, so we'd want to make sure that if lots more people want it, that was something we'd have higher fill rates on.
Right.
We also find that some items are very profitable, and they're profitable because we have enough customers who buy big grabs of it in the warehouse. So when I go out and I'm picking something, and I'm picking something that has $1 of margin in it, I don't care what the percent is, $1 of margin, and the total cost of running the warehouse divided by picks comes out to be $9, $10, $15, $30 a pick.
Usually,
maybe your Amazon, you're $1.50, but even Amazon would lose at $1. That's why you have to buy 6 of them bundled together, right?
Right.
So if you buy it, every time you pick it, it's a skid, or it's $80 per line or something like that. That's going to be bigger payload for pick, stopping the truck. Stopping the truck costs X.
Yeah.
Doing the three-way match the paperwork costs Y.
Yeah.
So if you have more margin, once you get above the threshold of that cost to serve that order, it just pounds the bottom line.
Right.
So you say, well, maybe I'm going to go look at the algorithm that we use for fill rates, and I am going to beef up the more profitable, popular ones. Now, what you find out is maybe 8 out of 10 of the most popular ones are $1 picks. They need to be fixed. That's a different story, a different day.
Right.
But at any rate, I want to beef it up. But to have the highest, go after a customer and say, I have everything you need. I've got one-stop shopping for you. And not only that, it's in stock. So I've got the best, call me, get everything you need at the last minute. You don't need inventory. You don't need to have back orders. You have to wait an extra day to get the balance of stuff to do whatever the hell you want to do with my stuff.
Right.
You get it now. We got it, right? So to try to do that for a lot of different customers who all buy different, arrays of one-stop shop, sure, they all may buy toilet paper or some common thing,
right.
But otherwise they're all buying different stuff. That's very hard to do, back to that 92% curve. But if you said, for this one particular niche, I'm going to run the WayPoint report, where I'm going to look at the popularity and profitability of just these guys, these 100 yellow birds, of a feather kind of thing.
Right.
Then I'm going to tune that.
And the popularity, it shows how many people buy that particular item.
About 100.
Now, beefing that impacts a larger portion of your customer base, and that's one of the reasons why that 92% analysis was out launched. The assumption behind that had to have been that we have to raise the whole inventory on a just-in-case basis.
Exactly.
And in reality, you're talking about narrowing the focus onto the products that actually affect the most profitable customers most of the time.
So here's the pushback. I'm doing my turnaround, and I just said, let's take the 100 most popular items. I didn't have, back in the 80s, I was doing my turnarounds, I didn't have WayPoint line item SKU stuff. I mean, all I knew was what's popular, not that 8 out of 10 of the top things were unprofitable.
Right.
I just said, look, let's take the top 100 items out of 16,000 we had in the warehouse. Mm-hmm. And I'm willing to borrow another $50,000 from the bank to spread it equally over these 100 items, just to boost it. Whatever the fill rates are, they are. Whatever is going to boost the fill rates. The way we tracked it, it wasn't perfect, but it was consistent. Mm-hmm. Fill rates went from like 82% to 92%, 93%. Uh-huh. And immediately, financial guys going, well, inventory, and here's the little curve. And I said, no, you don't understand. Let's look at all the other dimensions.
Right.
When a customer calls up and says, I call you and you've got everything, I don't have to call somebody second. Or I call these other guys first, they don't have it, I call you, and you always have the balance of one. Hell, I'm just going to call you first. I'm going to have to call you second or third anyway to get what I want.
Right.
So we're going to start to, and it's foundational.
So you grow the business because you have more opportunities, and you can't measure that in the financial numbers.
No, and here's the productivity of saying, oh, you want 10 items? We have 10 items. We're going to ship out an order to you, thank you, as opposed to we'll ship you 8 now and back order 2 and create 2 orders for 2 sets of fulfillment costs for the people.
Which doubles your cost.
So all the fulfillment costs take off.
Right.
So, when you look at customer satisfaction retention, when you look at employee fill rate productivity from fill rate,
right.
In a balance scale, you're right, you're spending more money carrying inventory. But if you're putting it in
you're saving personnel costs, you're saving infrastructure costs, you're saving delivery costs.
Yeah.
You're doing the most important kind of marketing you can.
Right.
We have it. We're the guys you can rely on.
Exactly.
And you're saying it in actions, not in an ad.
Exactly.
Where it's highly credible.
So here's what happens. You pick one niche, you round out your SKU offering, you beef it up. That's a barrier to entry. That's a lot of money you're putting in there. And the average financial guy, competitors go, oh, it's a lot of money. Well, can't we just put in half of what they wouldn't know what we have, but they'd want to put in like half, right?
Right.
And then their fill rates are going to stink and they're not going to get traction. But now you say, well, you're not getting enough turns. That's not the inventory problem. The problem is I don't have enough sales out of the niche.
Perfect.
So if I can retain the top 100 guys in that niche, to the point where I'm getting 80% share of the niche, now I have enough sales to get enough turns.
And that's that's running the business defensively. Oh my God, we can't have too much inventory money because we won't get enough sales to cover it and we'll be in big trouble.
It's one-dimensional financial thinking.
Yeah, as opposed to saying, no, this is what we need to do the job. What do we need to cover the nut?
So now going forward, what's happened is I've got 2 big barriers to entry. I own so much sales that nobody can, because my service is so good, I'm not going to lose those guys, right? So it's a chicken or egg. Well, if I put in all the inventory, can I get the sales? No, Bruce is already there. He's already got them locked up.
Yeah, so if your competitor, they can't catch up because you've already done it first. You've already got the reputation. They can't take that away. And the best they can do is try to be equal to you, which is a losing proposition.
And of course, because we really went out and super serviced those 100 guys and owned them. I mean, that's 80% of the sales in the niche, right?
Right.
So, and that then gives me free cash flow. The profits I make off that niche, I can go invest in somebody else. And nobody would look at my P&L, my PAR financial survey. They would never know it's there. It's an invisible moat, a double moat.
Right.
I got critical mass sales to turn critical mass inventory. Yeah. And I own the niche.
Yeah, and that is super powerful. But if you're in defensive mode, you'll never get there.
Yeah.
So this is something that maybe you can consider. There may be some benefit in your company to thinking about and enacting this kind of a program, and this will help you meet a lot of the goals that you would have naturally to provide better service for your customers, to be happier with what they get from you, to be more loyal. And instead of investing and paying for rewards for a loyalty program, how about having a loyalty program out of high performance, high fill rates, and making sure you're the most reliable supplier of the products that are important to the important customers. So thanks, Bruce. I appreciate you sharing that with us. I think that's very sophisticated, high-level management technique that I think everybody can benefit by knowing. So thank you very much for spending time with us, and we'll see you in future videos.